How to handle a neighbor slash friend that you believe to be a narcissist or have narcissistic traits. This kind of dynamic can be extremely challenging to navigate, as even dealing with a friend who is a narcissist or has the traits can be challenging in itself, let alone if they are your neighbor, which adds another layer of complexity to the situation. When in a situation like this, I would first start thinking about the things that you can control. Assuming that this neighbor friend doesn't have the capacity to have a genuine, honest conversation about wanting to maybe distance the friendship or just distance yourself in general, because the dynamic just isn't working for you for one reason or another. Maybe they aren't treating you the way that you want to be treated. They're being rude, passive aggressive, whatever it may be. You have every right to make the choice to distance yourself and no longer wanting to be connected to them. I would try to minimize interactions by first reducing your availability for these interactions, such as being busy with work, on the phone, just things going on in your life, taking up your time, and become less available to them. And this will naturally create some distance within the dynamic. You can also set clear boundaries that don't go super into depth, that just you need your space and they need to respect that. You're busier than before, and that's just it. If they become a bit more hostile towards you, I would definitely recommend to start documenting the interactions just in the event things were to ever escalate. This way you have a timeline of events if you did need to seek legal advice or call the police. People with narcissistic traits or who are narcissistic tend to love the drama, love to escalate situations, and just act in ways that are truly evil. So it's always good to be prepared. Over texting or DM, if that's how you have communicated with them in the past, don't reply as quick. Respond when you feel like it or if you have the energy. You can also choose to not respond. And if they are narcissistic, they will usually try to make things as dramatic as possible, which is when it's best to implement the gray rock technique, which is essentially you become like a rock, emotionless and extremely neutral in any and all interactions. When they are not receiving any sort of reactions from you, they're not getting supply or receiving anything from the interaction, likely leading them, or at least there's more of a chance to leading them to leaving you alone. Try your best to focus on you and your goals in life. Naturally, this will help the dynamic change as well. I hope this was helpful, and thank you to the viewer who asked me this question, as this situation can be complex and confusing and hard to deal with and navigate through. But I think as long as you try to keep it simple, focus on yourself, try to minimize interactions, lessen the contact, keep a timeline of the situations if they were to escalate or if you feel them escalating, that is the best course of action. Of course, if moving and things like that just aren't plausible, which for most people, it's not that easy to just get up and move. It's a very tough situation, but there's definitely ways of navigating it and getting through it to the other side of peace.